Hey, girlfriend, what is up? Happy Friday. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely in love with Fridays. Welcome to Debunking the top 10 myths about natural hair. I want you to come into this live stream and to leave it beholding the truth. I see that there's one person who's on right now. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Lavinia Latham, and I am the founder of this channel, Find Natural Hair Rocks. Now, this fantastic question came in earlier last week on our recent video, which was how to grow long fine natural hair in 2023. And actually, no, I'm lying. It came in on a community post. So if you've ever been on Find Natural Hair Rocks main homepage here on YouTube, and going over to the community tab, you'll notice that there's always, conversations about various different things to do with hair. And so on one of those conversations, I think it was a poll, TJ actually asked if I could talk about some of the myths, related to fine natural hair care. So, I mean, this is an ask me anything type video. I'm going to try to get through as many of these myths as possible from the top 10. I do have to put the disclaimer out there that I gotta go in the next like 20 minutes, so I'm not able to stay. I'm actually heading to the gym, so I'm in full out gym gear right now because summer is coming up quick, quick, quick. So, that being said, let's just jump on into this. The number one, and this is in no particular order, but one of the top myths about natural hair that really impacted my own natural hair journey negatively, and I would imagine it's impacting yours negatively as well too, is this false notion that box braids or extensions are actually one of the best protective styles. Now, maybe it's a good protective style for, more thicker natural textures. Maybe it's a good protective style for, individuals who have maybe a looser curl pattern. So the hair, the strand itself doesn't have as many break points. But for fine, fragile natural hair, for fine hair that's actually type 4, I'm even going to venture to say like 4C, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It's never worked for me. And I don't know who it works for either. Hi, TJ. Happy Friday to you too. Happy Friday. So, I mean, if you've been sold the lie that, this particular style, the box braids, kinky twists, those things are protective styles. Like, yes, technically, in the sense that you're leaving your hair alone, it's a protective style, but no, in the sense that that manipulation that's needed to install the hair onto your strands is actually going to cause breakage. And if it's causing breakage, like, we're kind of missing the point here, which with protective style is to like encourage growth and length retention and all those things. So for me personally, as soon as I learned that box braids were not going to help me grow my hair, and as soon as I stopped doing box braids and extensions and that kind of a thing for the purposes of growing my hair, I honestly started to see a lot of length retention. And it was a really frustrating journey. It was a very frustrating realization because I've got friends, and I'm thinking of one of my best friends, Alicia, who like she would be able to like put these box braids in her hair, and she would grow long, gorgeous, beautiful tresses right throughout our, elementary school, high school. Now we're grown women, and she'd have no issues. And I'd go and I'd do the exact same thing, and I would just be losing clumps of hair. Let me know in the comment box if that's you, if you tend to shed a lot after a set of box braids or extensions, kinky braids, whatever. If that's your situation and you're similar to me. But I know for me and mine, my strands, it doesn't work. Tip number 2, as it relates to a common myth about natural strands, is that deep conditioning your hair longer will lead to even better results. That's a no. That's a hardcore no, because if you are deep conditioning your hair for far longer than even the jar says to do so, you can start to incur damage. So, I mean, if it's a protein deep conditioner, your hair might get very hard and then break off. If it's a moisturizing deep conditioner, yeah, your hair is going to get really moisturized and hydrated, and it's going to definitely look moisturized and hydrated, but it's going to be so moisturized and so hydrated that it's just going to stretch, and then break right off. So that is a concept that, it's a little bit of a polarizing concept in the sense that, some say that there's such thing as high growth fatigue, others say there isn't. But what I can say, regardless of what the term for that is, keeping deep conditioner on your strands for far too long is not, I repeat, it's not a good thing. TJ says, I transitioned using crochet braids. When I told the stylist my hair was tight, she said, oh, it's going to break anyway since you are transitioning. I stopped crochet braids once I chopped. Yeah, crochet braids are one of those things where, like, if it's not installed into the hair correctly, if it's very tight, it's heavy, that's another way that you can actually experience breakage in a style that is usually touted as being great for like natural hair growth and length retention and all those things. So I actually tried crochet braids maybe once as well. I didn't like the way the style looked. I definitely didn't like the way it felt. And so I took that on out of my hair real quick. And you know what? When I was using it, it did, or the 24 or 48 hours or so that it was installed in my strands, it felt like if I kept that in any longer, I was going to experience breakage. So, I mean, the other tip, number 3 is this notion that like the tighter your braids or your extensions, whether you have extensions in there, whether you don't, the tighter the braids, the more longer it's going to last and the healthier your strands will be for it, or you'll gain growth from it. That's a no. I don't know how popular that myth is now, but I know back in the day, there was this rhetoric that, like, pain is beauty. Don't worry about the pain. It's beauty. Don't worry about the fact that the braids are tight because that's necessary for the style. And I'm here to say that's not necessary for the style. You do not have to feel pain for your styles. It's just not necessary. Hi, Nadoom. Thank you so much. I see 9 of us are currently watching this Curl Chat episode. I come here every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the, I want to say, third live stream for the year. You're definitely welcome to join. It's going to be available permanently rather on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in returning back to this video, then you absolutely can, because it's going to be available permanently. And also anything that I mention, any products that, I've happen to speak about, I will also be keeping those things in the comment section down below. So if you're interested in any of that, you can definitely go over there as well. Also, last housekeeping piece, if you are watching this, please go ahead and hit the like button and definitely engage in the chat, because those things let YouTube know that this is a channel that's giving solid natural hair advice. It's good content, and hopefully we can reach more people to actually spread the Curlfriend Crew love. On that note, we just hit 6,000. Can you believe it? Like, I can't believe it. This is madness. Wow. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. It really means the world to me. And I am so happy that there's 6,000 of us who are benefiting from this advice that took me literally like 10, 12 years, 13 years to collect. You have it now in the form of a video, in the form of a community as well, very easily to navigate and to digest. So that means the world to me, because not because I suffered means you have to suffer too. Nuh-uh, we're not doing that. So I am absolutely floored. Thank you. Thank you. Grace asked a question, or maybe this is a statement. Did crochet braids for the first time in a year. The lady braided with added hair. It didn't feel tight when she braided it, but it's starting to hurt. Yeah, see, situations like that, I get it. Like, we don't want to be, wasting our money, especially with inflation and stuff like that. Like, we really want to make the most of a dollar. And so I also get wanting to, maintain that relationship, right? Like, if you found somebody and you have a relationship with them, you sat in their chair for like 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe 10. I mean, that's a relationship that you might not want to damage. And so I think the best way to approach that is just to lean into the fact, kind of use the sandwich method, right? So the sandwich method is saying one thing nice, and then one thing where like you really need to get your point across, and then another thing nice. And in that circumstance, I would literally be like, the style's really gorgeous. I love it so much. However, it's starting to hurt. Is it possible that I can come back and, have you help me out with this style? Because I really love your services and I really love the style. It's just I need to be comfortable in it. That's a perfect way to kind of, get your point across, advocate for yourself in terms of like your hair, because you don't want to leave that on your strands, right, Grace? But at the same time, you don't want to be, breaking relationships either, right? So I think that that's really important, and perhaps you might be able to get a different style out of it, one that's actually going to meet your goals of length retention, healthy hair, all those good things. My urban garden. Ooh, I like that. Showing support for your growth, growing hair, and growing plants. I love it. Thank you so much. I receive that. I appreciate it. And, I'm sending you good vibes and, all the blessings that you can receive for growing your hair and growing your plants as well, too, because that is definitely connected. Like, if you can grow hair and plants, that means you have a growing thumb, right? And that's a very nice thing. Grace says, I used a braid spray on my scalp and started massaging my scalp to help. How long have they been in? Oh, this is too, Grace. Yes, I love that everyone's connecting with each other because, our community, our Curlfriend crew, we're here to help each other out. Lori Roberts, congratulations on 6,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. It's crazy that we're here. So I appreciate you for being here. And I really am grateful for each and every one of you for being a part of, my YouTube family. We're family together and it truly is absolutely amazing. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Stylists like returning customers. Yes, exactly. So just as much as we have interests in keeping our hair on our heads, you know, the stylist has an interest in like keeping the customers coming back. So yeah, that's definitely something that you can consider so that you didn't waste your time and you definitely didn't waste your money either. Hi, Loveth TV family channel. Welcome, welcome. It's been a minute. Thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate your support over the years. And yeah, I hope that you'll enjoy your time here in today's very short live in comparison to the other ones. I've actually got to hit up the gym. I'm really trying to stay consistent with the gym. So I've got a class coming up that I've got to head out for. And I can only stay till 5:20, unfortunately. And on that note, let's talk about the third one. So this notion that dirty hair grows faster. Who said that and why? Like dirty hair does not grow faster. I'm going to say it again. Dirty hair does not grow faster. It's actually it causes issues for hair growth because the scalp is all clogged up. It's just not able to breathe. Like it causes issues. Like I don't know why we used to think that. Actually, I have a hypothesis of why we used to think that. And I think it's because when you leave your hair alone and you're really not doing anything to it for a length of time, it gets dirty, yes, but the other part to it is the fact that you have low to no manipulation. And that low to no manipulation is something that actually allows the hair to grow. It allows you to flourish. So that's also one of the reasons I think that kind of led to like the myth that braids and extensions helps all natural hair grow. Even though there's so much manipulation to get the braided extensions in, but it comes back to leaving the hair alone. And it's funny because I don't know, like I looked at, who our Curlfriend crew is composed of. And, majority of us are, women. We're here in this space. But just thinking back to high school, thinking back to, when I was in my early 20s, and I noticed that a lot of the guys who were braiding their hair, they would grow their hair to their butts so quick. They'd be having to braid it, or sorry, cut it, cut it, cut it. And, us girls, us ladies over here, we were just struggling. And I think the reason why that was happening was because they were okay with having frizzy braids. They were okay with getting a braid up today and maybe not getting another braid up for another 3-4 weeks. And that lack of care, that lack of touching the hair at all is what led to the massive growth, is what led to the length retention that we're all seeking. And so that's the reason why I love wigs so much, because essentially you could do the exact same thing. Like I don't have beautiful braids under this. I don't, right? Like the braids are terrible. Like, and I install them super lightly. I don't tug on my strands. I definitely don't tug on my edges. And then I just put the little weave on top of it, not the weave, the wig on top of it. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, I'm good to go, right? So, I mean, leading back into the point that I was making about dirty hair growing faster, it's not the dirty hair that's growing your hairs faster. It's actually the fact that you haven't touched it and you've left it alone. I see quite a few comments are in here. Nadum says, people were leaving braids in for 2 to 3 months back then. Yes. See, so that's the thing. People were leaving their hair in for 2 to 3 months, and that was when it would be getting dirty, right? And that was when, at least in my experience, I would be losing the most amount of hair because I was following this notion that, or this myth rather, that leaving the braids in for 2 to 3 months was a good thing. and I would end up taking it out, and I would end up losing like all of that growth at the bottom because it's breaking off from the bottom of the strands. But then also it would start thinning out from the top because of the little white, the buildup that collects at the top of the extension that kind of grows its way down. Leaving that there just ended up with more and more issues. Okay, number 4. This is something that I've been seeing quite a lot lately, and I think it's because, we're growing, and so we're hitting, new audiences, new people are seeing fine natural hair rocks. And I've seen quite a few comments come through saying, I particularly do, like me, Lavinia, I don't have fine hair because fine natural hair means scalpy, see-through strands. So like I actually have thick hair, like stop saying that. That's not entirely wrong. I do have fine hair, but I don't have thin hair. And that there is a huge difference there. And I think it's important for us to talk about that difference because the advice that's given here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks is absolutely applicable to those who have fine hair, but also to those who have thin hair too. So for me, that's true. I don't have thin hair. I have fine natural hair. So I have fine, thick appearing hair. Because there's a lot of those fine strands there. But there are people out there who have fine strands and who also have thin hair. And that absolutely does look scalpy. It does look different. And, there are methods to make, to achieve the type of aesthetics that we're looking to achieve. So I call that a myth. Not a popular myth in the sense of the entire natural hair community. Like, let's be real, we're 6,000 strong, not 6 million. But all jokes aside, I do think that it's a popular misconception that fine hair and thin hair is the exact same thing. It's not. You can have fine, thick hair, like how I do, or you can have fine, thin hair, which is what I think people are talking about when they discuss, like, the scalpy look and, the misunderstandings about what it is that I'm trying to discuss here. So I see Grace says, thank you for this advice to the chat. Yes, that was an excellent discussion. I was kind of having an eye on edit as, everybody was kind of chatting. Nadoom says, same here, fine strands, thick density. Yes, that is a thing. And you know what? A lot of type 4 curlies get confused with that. So when I first started my journey, and so I'm just going to do a time check. Oh my gosh, it's 5:17. Oh, okay, so only have 3 minutes left. I'm definitely going to return to this topic for next week's episode, or next week's live stream rather, on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what was the point that I was trying to make with you? Oh, yes. So when the natural hair community first exploded back in 2009, right? Like this was ages ago. And they had things like Folky. Let me know in the comment section if you remember Folky. It was spelled FOTKI.com. And it was like a literal like picture blog, right? Anyways, I remember seeing people with thick hair, like thick strands and thick hair. And I remember feeling like what they were doing with their hair, I could do with my hair too. Not realizing that yes, we both have thick hair, but no, baby girl, we don't both have thick strands. And so when I finally realized that I had fine strands and that was actually a thing, that is when my entire scope, my vision, my approach changed. And this is what I'm trying to get, our community, our Curlfriend crew to change our position, change our scope and how we deal with our hair. So YouTube has a plethora of YouTubers who talk about natural hair. Like there's an entire natural hair community and it's chef kiss, but they don't all talk about fine strands, right? And so some of the naturalistas that do talk about fine strands, I want to shout out Michelle from Fine Natural Hair and Faith, really helped me with my particular journey. Kenya from Power in Your Curl really, really helped me with my journey as well. Who else? Finally Amber. Finally Amber talks all the time about the fact that she's got fine strands, but it's thick. So this is something like a lot of, and by thick I mean like a lot of it, right? Like you've got a lot of fine strands on your one head. And so somebody said it really nicely. We're talking about strands versus density. Nadoom said this. Nadoom, strands versus density. So fine strands, but your density can vary. Grace says, I have fine hair, realized I had 3 inches of thin hair from split ends, cut it all off, and my hair feels thicker. Yay! I love that. I love that so much. This is what I'm talking about. And you know what? Please, please stay tuned for Monday's video, because on Monday's video, we're going to be talking about how you can actually get thick strands. And what you just said is actually one of them, Grace. Like, cutting off the thin, scraggly ends, like that's just going to make your hair look even thinner than it actually is. It's not going to do anything good for the overall look. So this upcoming Monday, the newest video is going to drop called How to Thicken Fine Natural Hair in 2023. And that video is still, being edited in the studio, but it will absolutely be ready for your viewing pleasure on Monday. This upcoming, I think Monday is the 13th. Yes, I just said that. It's been a long day, girlfriend. Girlfriend, I actually have to go. My hubby's waiting for me to attend the gym. I am definitely going to be posting a bit more about, the benefits of lifestyle and personal development and natural hair and how those things are connected. And they are connected in very interesting ways. So if that's something you are interested in, definitely go ahead and make sure that your notification bell is turned all the way on so that you do not miss another video. Also, for us to stay connected, just in case anything weird happens to YouTube, go ahead into the description box down below and just sign up for our newsletter so that, again, if anything ever happens, maybe my account is hacked. I don't know. Crazy things happen all the time. At least we're connected through the newsletter, and you don't have to lose connection to me whenever I come back on the scene. Star Puppy! Nadoom. Yes, to my girl Star Puppy. I freaking love her. I love her. She's so cute. I love her. Yes, Star Puppy is a huge one. And Calypso said the same thing, 01, just a handful of fine girlies. Yes. Nadoom says folk key, Afrobella, Motown hair, etc. Okay, now I'm officially running late, and I really don't want to go because I love you so much, but I do have to go. So stay tuned. Monday at 5 p.m. Sorry, Monday, I'm going to try to drop the video as soon as possible early. Let's say around 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Later if there's like editing issues, but for sure it will be dropped on Monday. And I will be back with the rest of these tips. I think we got to tip number, let me check my notes here. We got to tip number 4. So there's 6 more tips that I'm going to be dropping, or myths rather, for next Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you from the bottom of my heart and back. I love you bad, bad, bad. And I will see you on Monday with how to thicken your fine natural hair in 2023. Talk to you soon. Bye.